Hey everyone, this will be a review of Tekking101's video of basically his thoughts on Shinji Hirako's Lost Bankai theories and discussion, and how it was in the last uh, video or two. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try holding my iPhone up because I don't really know how to edit the actual video to the side here, and I just don't really know how else to convey uh, make the viewing uh, quality as uh, good. But in due time I will. But without further ado, uh, here is my review and live reaction of this, of taking one-to-one's thoughts on Shinji Hirako's Bankai.
Yeah, hey guys, Tekking here. Simple question. Shinji had a Bankai, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Probably. Yeah. Shinji
I
has a
don't think
weird
he
case.
did.
He really is. Because, like I said, I'm not going to be
I mean,
making
he
videos
should,
about
but
every single Bankai that we didn't get to see in the series, okay? Because, like Love, for instance. Love is another visor that was captain class, and he did have a Bankai. Um, but he
most
didn't really
likely.
show up that much in the final arc. Not really that much in the series, really. So I don't. I know there's probably not. There's a few people that were probably on the edge of their seats, kind of holding out to see what his Bankai was, because the Shikai was pretty cool. But I don't think there was a lot of people. There was the Zero Squad. The Zero Squad was such a big letdown, right? It was like
Oh yes,
they made
definitely.
it so close, but they just didn't make the cut for the team.
They didn't really show their
It sucks
Shikai, like
because that's
three or
part of
four of
the reason
them.
why everyone was so hyped to see them. Like, whoa, the Zero Squad, the Royal Guard. These are like the gods of Shinigami. Like, I wonder what their
The
Zanpakuto is
gods
going
of
to
the
be like.
gods of death.
Their Shikai alone must be so OP. And it turns out of the five members of the Zero Squad, we only got to see Shikais from two of them and a Bankai from one. So yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty much
I
a
mean,
letdown. And once
Ishibe
again, the Zero Squad,
lived up to the hype,
they show
in
up.
my
They're
opinion.
not really that prominent. We just found out about them this last arc. We just got to see them this last arc. Shinji, on the other hand, has been a staple in the Bleach series ever since the Ironcor arc. In fact, he appeared on the very first cover of the series in Chapter 1. So Kubo had a plan for him and at least knew his character
Really?
design way
I did
back
not
then.
know that.
He showed up in the Ironcor arc. He introduced Ichigo to visors. He has his own. Wait, sorry, that's not it. He has his own hollow powers. Pretty cool masks. And then after the Aizen fight, after he uses his Shikai and everything, after the Aizen fight, he becomes the captain of the 5th Division. And like, okay, Kubo himself even cuts away from stuff going on in the final arc to see what Shinji's doing. Like after the fight with Gremmy and Kenpachi gets cratered by Candace Catnip, we cut away to see Shinji and he's confronting Basby and shit. And this happens a few times. He doesn't have a straight up fight just like Shinji versus one Sternritter that we get to see on screen, like a whole fight.
I wish we
But
had
we cut
more
to him
individual
throughout
fights.
points in the arc, and he's one of the captains that goes to the Royal Palace with everybody. So it seemed like, yeah, we're probably going to get to see his Bankai, especially since, aside from Uketake, he's the only current captain that we didn't get to see a Bankai from. And Uketake, that's understandable because Kubo is not trying to make Uketake like a frontline fighter. Like he's going to be like, all right, I'm going to take on the Stern Ritter. I'm going Bankai. That's not what his character is. He's more frail. He's weaker, so it makes sense for him to do the whole thing with the Mime Hage.
Is
But
he
it makes
weaker though?
absolutely no sense to me
I don't. I.
why Kubo would not show Shinji
He's really
Bankai
not
other than
weak though.
simply there was the time crunch and he didn't have time for it. I don't know when Kubo got the news that he had to end his series after blah 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 chapters. The official announcement came in chapter 680, but I don't know if Kubo knew about that 1 or 2 weeks before that or 10 weeks before that. I don't know. But I still think that, yeah, we were going to get Shinji's Bankai. It just doesn't even make any sense because look how the final battles with the shoot stopping went. It was all Bankai, 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 Bankai. Mayuri, new Bankai. Shunsui, first revealed Bankai. Uehara, first revealed Bankai. And then we get to the fight with Gerard, and it starts out okay. We get Kenpachi's Bankai, Toshiro's real Bankai, and then it just turns into a fucking clusterfuck, man. It was just weird. And then Shinji gets defeated when Gerard first goes into his god size. Guess what? That's the last time we see him. He's gone.
Yeah,
He's
and
gone.
also
We don't see anything. Oh, I know.
the other
Yeah, he shows up in
visors
the last
got
chapter,
taken out
so he survived.
immediately.
Good for him, but that was it. That was it. So, okay, what's his Bankai going to be like? Well, it's obvious that it's going to play off the whole deal with his Shikai. Shinji's Shikai is Sake Nade, which means I forget what Sake Nade actually means, but it sends you into the inverted world, basically. Now, the inverted world's an interesting thing, and Sakanade itself is a very interesting sword. I love the design of it. The aesthetic and the flair is great. I love the circle thing that Shinji puts his hand in and it starts.
I wonder how
spinning.
he's able
I love when
to
he first reveals it.
post
And
these
he's like saying to
pictures
Aizen, like,
without
it's a pretty cool
getting
sword.
copyright
I ain't
claims.
gonna let you borrow it. And Aizen was playing it cool, but he was saying like, oh damn, I wish I could play with that sword. Oh, my sword doesn't even change shape when I go into Shikai. This sucks. He has the cool little flare thing, and he has holes in his blade, whatever. But yeah, so what it does, it actually doesn't do anything to the area around him. It's not like reality warping into the inverted world. It's kind of something that one of my science teachers used to say back when we were in school. He would pick up a marker, and he would be like, okay, guys, what do you see when you look at this? Like, what would you say you see? And of course, the entire class would be like, that's a marker, right? It's a marker. And he's like, actually, no, you're not seeing a marker. You're seeing the light coming off of this marker that your eyes are then transmitting to that your pupils are then transmitting to your brain, and your brain is deciphering the image in a shape that you recognize, and then you associate that image with a word that you recognize, which is marker.
Oh.
You're not actually seeing the marker. You're seeing the light, whatever your brain is perceiving. So it's kind of the same way with Shinji's Shikai. It emits kind of like a pink mist around you whenever he's like spinning it, and anybody that inhales this mist, I guess their brain just processes the world differently now, and it's now the inverted world. Up is down, left is right, front is back. And I don't know if Shinji can control this, like to the point where he controls who gets afflicted by it, because it's kind of ambiguous whether or not he was afflicted by it. Because he seemed to fight in this inverted world perfectly. He had everything down. Now, I don't know if that was just because of training or because it just didn't affect him, but his whole thing was like to Aizen, like, there's no way that you could possibly process every single change in this inverted world while you're trying to fight. It's just not going to happen.
And some inversions,
which is funny because every time
there'd be so many inversions that they probably cancel each other out.
You can't possibly defend against my sword. And every time he gets defeated, Aizen kicks his ass, and then when he uses it against Bambietta, she's just like, oh, okay, I'll just blow everything up then, and then he gets defeated that way. Yeah, also
classic
in a
Shinji.
group fight too, when Aizen's going on that melee against all the Shinigami captains, and Toshiro's going to attack him, and then Aizen's like, oh, I'm just gonna cut Toshiro down, it's easy, and then he looks over and sees Shinji, and he's like, oh shit, everything's reversed, and then Toshiro runs Aizen through with the sword. Of course, we find out later it's not really Aizen, but it brings up an interesting question. Could Shinji control who is afflicted by it, like he just said it on Aizen, or was it on everybody?
That's interesting.
Also, by the way, people might forget this. Shinji was the first person to injure Aizen.
Yeah.
He was the first guy to make Aizen bleed.
I mean, it was just a cut in his shoulder, but
Aizen could bleed before that. And when that chapter came out, it was like, oh man, Shinji.
I remember reading that chapter.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, he is, but he isn't. Let's be honest here. Okay, so for a Bankai, obviously it's going to play off the reversing aspect, because that's the whole deal we're doing with here. I'm going to delve a little bit into the fan fictions that people sent me for the We Need a Miracle contest, because a lot of good ideas there on what his Bankai was going to be.
I read the winning entry for that.
The winning entry had a few different variations of his Bankai being this. It was like the same basic concept, just different ways to present it, is that in his Bankai, it reverses the abilities that people have, other Zanpakuto abilities, which is cool because I don't think we've seen any other Zanpakuto that directly affects like other Zanpakuto abilities or other abilities in general. I never thought we might have seen one. I don't remember one off the top of my head. It's usually just based on like an element or something like that. Shinji's is a very unique sword, is that it creates this weird hallucinogenic effect, or like creates this reverse world. So yeah, I'm gonna say that it might have. That's actually one that I really enjoyed. That's why I picked the winner. The winning entry had like Shinji's Bankai create like these rings around him, and then anything he passed these rings through had their abilities reversed. Like when he did it against Gerard, his ability to heal when he took damage changed to being damaged when he was healed. That was pretty cool. I like that concept. There was a few others that did that same basic idea. There was another one that was really funny, and you know what? This would actually make sense why he wouldn't use this in battle. That could be another idea. Like, his Bankai is one of those things that only works in very unique circumstances, maybe like one-on-one or one-on-two fights, maybe when he's like fighting a big group, but not so much when there's like he's only fighting one opponent, or not so much when there's a lot of people around him, like Shunsui. Shunsui's Bankai, it really has to be a one-on-one fight, because other people are going to get dragged into his effects of his drama, So,
oh yeah,
and it's really funny. It reverses or flips the personalities or like the bodies and like basically like body swapping from people around him. And the one fan fiction that had that, it was funny because it had people like Rangiku, like personality flipping with Momo. That was pretty fucking hilarious to watch. But also, if that's the case, and if it was something along those lines, like flipping personalities or flipping souls or like shuffling souls or personalities around, then wouldn't really work that well if you're fighting in a group because no one would have any idea what to do. You know. On the other hand, if Shinji was like alone facing down against like a group of people attacking him, that ability would be absolutely devastating, you know? So it might be something like that. It might be something like we could use in a battle like that.
Oh, okay, I
But no, I'm going
understand
to stick
why.
with the reversal of the abilities around him. There's one. The other one was it makes the inverted world, it does actually change it to reality warping. It's not just like a perception of reality where you have to absorb the mist. It's just straight up, it reverses the world around you. Like within a set distance, everything just gets flipped and the laws of physics just take a back seat for as long as Shinji is in his Bankai form. That was a good one as well. I decided to make this video, though, because, like I said, this was the one that I really, really think, I'm like 100% sure here, that Kubo really wanted to show it off. As I said, he's the only one that didn't get to show it off of the current Gotei 13, that he just had to sacrifice for a time crunch. I'm going to think that Kubo got that notice that he had to end his series after the shoot-stopping fights, after his not long after the fight with Askin and Uehara. Because the fights against the shoot-stopping, you know, you might complain about them, but
So
I thought
around
they were paced rather well.
chapter
compared to
670,
I don't think,
maybe.
I don't think he was rushing through them. Each one of the shoot-stopping fights had about 8 or 9 chapters dedicated to them.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that worked. And then right around the time we get to Gerard's fight, that's when everything starts speeding up. And I think that's around the time he got the notice. Right.
So
So I
around
think he was right along that track, maybe having
665,
like Momo healing him after
667.
Gerard, and then he goes Bankai. Maybe it would have worked against him, maybe it wouldn't have, but I think we were definitely going to see it. I'm trying to think of any other Bankai in the series that because this is like the series I've been doing, like, what's the deal with so-and-so's Bankai? But I can't really think of any other Bankai that would really give us a lot of stuff to work with. Like I said, I did Shinji's because, like, he was prominent in this arc. He did show up. But Love really didn't. The Zero Squad, honestly, not really. No. But if you have any other ideas for any other characters, Bankai, you'd like to see, I mean, it was funny because we even got Kenpachi's Bankai. We got Kenpachi, who is never even known to have a Bankai. We got his Bankai.
Of all people.
Shinji. That's hilarious to me. I love that. But, yeah. Let me know below if there's any other Bankais you'd like for me to discuss, and I'll go over them and see if I can get a solid video out of them. Because anyone for the Zero Squad, I wouldn't be able to make a solid video. It'd only be like 5 minutes or something like that.
Probably less,
yeah,
to be honest.
Below, and let me know what
you
you think Shinji's Bankai could be. But I'm going to stick with the ability warping ability, the ability flipping power. Because there's so much potential for that, you know? There really is. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Later.
Like if Shinji and Zaraki were to ever get into a fight, if Zaraki were to some reason go into his Bankai, Shinji were to go into his Bankai, Shinji would be able to reverse Kenpachi's ability. So instead of Kenpachi being, his Bankai granting him absolutely ridiculous strength, it will make him ridiculously weak. So there is definitely like a lot of potential with Shinji Hirako's Bankai. I really wish we got more of the Visors and their fight, and how I wish we could have seen them fight more against Gerard Valkyrie, because I remember there was one point where Hiyori, who was, I believe she had her Shikai and her Hollow Mask on, so for a former vice captain, I'm pretty sure that's her. She's going at her match. She used triple Zero. She shoots it at Gerard. Gerard tanks that, and he says like it's nothing. But Hiyori was like, "Oh, that's just a diversion. The real attack is here." And then you have three visors, I believe two of them are vice captain. One of them is Love. So two of them vice captain. One of them is a captain. All of them, or all three of them, were using their shikai. All of them had their mask on, and Love, the captain class visor, was also he was also in the middle of using one of his abilities, Heijo, Hifuki no Kozuchi, which he used against the Espada #1 Stark, and that so you have like three pretty strong Shinigami going all out on an attack, and Gerard Valkyrie just shrugs it off, and basically I don't know what exactly happened. He like swats them away, and then the three of them or four of them go into some sort of building. I think they get lunged into the Weidenrock, or the castle that Yuha Bach made, and so yeah, they get lunged into that, and they don't appear at all. Like, I can't remember the last time we've seen them. I don't think we even see them again. I don't. Besides, well, we did see Shinji in the 10-year time skip, and we saw Hiyori in the last chapter. We didn't see Love. I don't think we did. And Lisa and Mashiro. I don't know if Mashiro was a part of the three attack trio combo on Gerard, but we didn't see Mashiro. And oh, and we did see Lisa in the second last chapter. But in terms of like from if we don't take the last two chapters, which were after the 10-year time skip, we didn't see those four visors, I think, for the rest of the fight. And then, which doesn't make sense, like, I don't know, I was expecting more from the visors. I think it would have been cool if he had multiple visors and multiple captain class Shinigami that have either trained their butt off and or they just gotten a lot stronger, you know, for those visors, and then Rito Shinigami going against Gerard and then finding some way to permanently take him down. That was something I would have loved to have seen. And I have looked at the winning entry for We Need a Miracle contest for Tekking101. So I read that besides the grammar and punctuation mistakes, spelling mistakes, I thought it was a pretty okay entry. Um, I'll try linking that into the description. But overall, I'm going to read some of the comments here and see what other people think on Tekking101's video. I'm pissed we didn't get Oetsu Nimaya's Shikai and Bankai. You know, I really wish we got to see that as well. Like, because he's like one of those like unique like exceptions because he is the creator of the Exampacto. Like, does he have multiple Shikai? Does he have multiple Bankai? Like, I don't know. Like, what would his Shikai be? Would it just be like a super sharp sword, like what he had, like what he used against the stuff? Um, Hisagi and Kira's Bankai. Yes, I want to know what their Bankais would be. One guy is like, Kenpachi got a Bankai? What? Yep, Kenpachi got a Bankai. Of all people. And Kenpachi's already is overpowered anyway. But he needed it against Gerard. Hmm. But yeah, those are my thoughts for now. I hope you all enjoyed the video and hope you all have a great day. This is Burn Through Reality doing a live reaction review of Shinji Hirako's Bankai made by Tekking101, and I'm blazing out.